Hey, this is Sophia from CNET, here with the top tech stories of the day. Two of the richest men in history are trading blows over the privilege of delivering the first astronauts to the surface of the moon since the end of NASA's Apollo program in the 1970s. Blue Origin, the space company started by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, filed a formal protest of NASA's decision to go with Elon Musk's SpaceX and its Starship spacecraft for the agency's initial trips to the lunar surface under its Artemis program. NASA shocked much of the space industry when it selected SpaceX as the sole provider for the human landing system for Artemis, the follow-up to Apollo. The space agency was expected to select two of the three companies that submitted final bids to then create competing lander designs. In selecting just SpaceX over competitors Blue Origin and Dynetics, NASA said it simply hadn't been appropriated sufficient funding by Congress to make more than one selection. Blue Origin's protest was filed with the U.S. Government Accountability Office by the law firm Barnes & Thornburg of Washington, D.C. A partially redacted version of the lengthy document was posted online by NASA Watch. It argues that NASA's evaluation process unfairly favored SpaceX over Blue Origin in a number of ways, particularly that SpaceX's low bid in terms of cost was improperly weighted in making the final decision. NASA didn't immediately respond to requests for comment, and an email to the SpaceX media team didn't immediately receive a response. But founder Elon Musk did offer up a comment of sorts on Twitter in the form of a lewd joke. Can't get it up? Parentheses, to orbit, LOL. This isn't the first time Blue Origin has been upset by the US government choosing SpaceX instead. The company was on the losing end of the bidding process for a lucrative Space Force contract last year. The company would later say the decision led to a delay of the debut of its New Glenn rocket, designed to compete with Starship. Bezos unveiled Blue Origin's Blue Moon lunar lander concept at a big media event in 2019, but the development of the company's spacecraft has lagged behind SpaceX in recent years. As Blue Origin works toward its first flight of humans to the edge of space aboard its smaller New Shepard vehicle, SpaceX has just completed its third mission, carrying astronauts to the International Space Station. Meanwhile, Musk says the next test flight of a Starship prototype could take place later this week. In other news, here's CNET reporter Aaron Carson.
After 4 successful test flights of SpaceX's next-generation Starship prototypes all ended in dramatic explosions during the landing phase, Elon Musk's space company is skipping ahead to SN-15, a new version of its interplanetary rocket. SpaceX has conducted high-altitude test flights of prototypes SN-8 through SN-11 and has long planned to integrate what Musk has called major upgrades into SN-15. Now the company is skipping SN-12, SN-13, and SN-14, which were never fully assembled, and working toward a flight of SN-15 as soon as this week. Musk has said that SN-15 has hundreds of design improvements across structures, avionics, software, and engine. That could also include upgrades to cover some of the problems that have prevented SpaceX from sticking the landing so far without a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. SN-15 has undergone some initial testing, and Musk initially tweeted that the aim was to launch last week, but the target continued to slip, and current airspace closures indicate Friday is the soonest we'll see it fly. A key static test fire took place Monday, followed by a second on Tuesday, and Musk has confirmed that the goal is to get off the ground this week. SN-15 could launch anytime, or not at all, within the approved windows once all the required closures and permissions are in place. We usually don't have a firm sense of when it'll blast off until less than an hour before liftoff appears set to happen, and even then, false starts are common.
Finally, Amazon said in its quarterly earnings report on Thursday that its annual Prime Day will take place in the second quarter, moving back from its later slot in 2020. Chief Financial Officer Brian Olvasky noted on a press call that the event will specifically take place in June. He added that the company was concerned transportation slowdowns in July and the impact of the Olympics in quarter 3 could be factors that slowed down a later Prime Day date. Before Amazon's announcement, there were speculations the shopping event could once again take place in July. The e-commerce giant has held the event that month since Prime Day's kickoff in 2015. But last year, the coronavirus pandemic pushed the event to October. The shopping event usually lasts several days and features discounts on a range of products sold by the online retailer. Amazon typically offers big sales on its own line of gadgets in particular, such as the Amazon Echo line of smart speakers and smart home gadgets. For more of the top tech stories, visit cnet.com.